The Phillies have taken 2 out of 3 games from the Los Angeles Dodgers. We're going to break it down and talk all about it here on the newest episode of the podcast. Welcome on in. This is the Fodcast, a Phillies podcast where we talk about every single series. I'm sorry, I did not get you one for the Tigers series, so I'll touch on the Cody Clemens thing, or we'll just touch on that series real quickly towards the beginning of the episode. But this team is officially back hot. I don't even know what the word you want to use is, but they've won 5 of 6, 6 of 7, I believe. So one against a good team, a couple series against a bad team, but I mean, it's a win is a win is a win. You know, they need them there now. I believe 2 games below 500. I believe it's just 1 game below 500 as of right now. They go on and play the Diamondbacks, which we will preview that series as well at the end of the show. So let me touch on the Tiger series real quick. So you got 3 really good performances from your stars, 7 innings out of all 3 of them. Nola, Walker, and Wheeler. Arguably, Walker was the best, but Wheeler really did take home that crown. And then all the pitchers, they come back in the Dodgers series, and most everyone pitches well. We'll get to the one that doesn't, but a little disappointing. It was pretty predictable, pretty vintage out of him too. So, but let's go ahead and let's go to the Dodgers series, where we're going to start in game 1. We're going to recap every single game. It is Friday night. 2 teams that need a win. The Dodgers are as well on a little bit of a cold streak here, and it's Ranger Suarez on the hill. But J.D. Martinez gets the scoring started with an RBI double of his own. He has been hot. 1-0 Dodgers. And then Mookie Betts would drive in 1 as well. Kyle Schwarber gets himself a triple. How about that? And Bryce baby knocks him in the 3rd. We're knotted at 1. Nick Castellanos would rip a double into the left center gap, and it is 2-1 Phillies. Trey Turner, a 2 RBI single, 4-1 Phillies now, as they're starting to get to Michael Grove pretty well. Ranger Suarez would end, but Mookie Betts would get a homer off of Matt Strahm, cuts the lead in half. It's 4-3. Mookie Betts' 17th homer of the year. How about that? Freddie Freeman goes back-to-back with him. Strahm lets 2 home runs in a row. Freeman's 12th of the year, knotted at 4 now. And then Bryson Stott saves the game off of Max Muncy and keeps it knotted at 4. We go to the bottom of the 9th, and oh my, 2 outs. Do not leave that pitch there. Kyle Schwarber walks it off. 5-4 is the final score in front of a pretty sold-out crowd in Philly. Phillies win it, much needed, 5-4. A much needed win for the Phillies against a Dodgers team they did not play well against when they went out to LA. Yeah, man, the walk-off homer was sick. It was awesome. Ranger was really good. Strahm comes in, he blows it up a little bit, and very disappointing. He's been good all year. It's going to happen. He allows the 3 earned runs in his inning of work, but rest of the bullpen gets the job done, keeps it as a close game, doesn't allow any more damage. And then Schwarber with a big bomb, his 17th of the year. Those are starting to come around a lot more. He's getting hot in June, of course. Trey continues to stay hot in this game. He's really getting back into what we all expected him to be. And the numbers are still not good, but you can see they're definitely trending upwards for Trey. So that was great. Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman. I mean, you just don't know how to handle these guys. They're Philly killers. It's crazy, especially Freddie, who we've seen for years and years and years. He's been a Phillies killer. So I don't know if there's much that you could do about that, but I mean, it's a big win. A big win, 5-4. And hopefully you'd think, can they carry some momentum into the next game? Well, we got Aaron Nola on the bump, but things do not start well. I should say they do start well, but we get to the 3rd. Mookie Betts with an RBI single makes it 1-0 Dodgers, but Freddie with an RBI single of his own just a few pitches later, it's 2-0 Dodgers. David Peralta, solo homer the next inning, 3-0 Dodgers. It's falling apart for Aaron Nola quickly. And then Bobby Miller, gets an outing of his own, a big pivotal strikeout. He goes 6 innings, no Ernies. And Mookie Betts comes in, RBI knock of his own, his second of the day, 4-0 Dodgers over the Phils. Then Will Smith would ground out to drive in another RBI as well. Max Muncy would walk with the bases loaded. It drove in another run. That pitch got away. Boy, oh boy, it was falling apart. 6-0. Jeff Hoffman, his first bad outing of the year. And then J.D. Martinez rips one off of Jeff Hoffman to make it 9-0. Boy, this game was lifeless. Andre Jackson would end the game for the Dodgers. The Phillies look awful in Game 2, a 9-0 final score. Just a bad game. It kind of, if Nola he turned down $200 million this offseason, right? I don't know. That's unbelievable. He has not been good, but the problem is that it's like someone's going to give him that, regardless. So it's frustrating. He's not been very good. He's had, a start here and there. It's that things fall apart for him so quickly, though. Him and Wheeler really both. Whenever things go bad, it's all within like an inning. One inning kills them. Nola's been allowing the long ball a lot, too. Jason Hayward got to him. Jason Hayward got to him. So, boy, oh boy, a bad, lifeless game. Not a ton to touch on. The offense wasn't there either. It's not like they helped out a whole lot. But Jeff Hoffman, his first bad outing, he's been really good for the Phils this year. Really, a lot of the bullpen has been really good for the Phillies this year. Underrated piece of this team that's been really good throughout the struggles of the team. So, not a lot to touch on in that game. 9-0. Dodgers owned them. And, yeah, that's the whole story. They just kind of owned them. So we can go ahead and get into the Game 3 recap. It's a rubber match. And guess what? Taijuan Walker on the hill. It's a bullpen game for Los Dodgers. And we get started early. They're cornered, and Bryce Harper bloops one into left. 1-0 Phillies. And then, oh my, a double steal for Alec Boehm to come up. And then Bryson Stott would knock them both in with a 2-run single that also blooped in between the left fielder and center fielder. And it's 3-0 Phillies early. Freddie Freeman, of course, had to get in on the action. He gets a solo shot of his own off Greg Soto in the 6th after Taijuan Walker goes 5 shutty. Soto comes in the lefty to face the lefty, but Freeman would get him because why not? He's a Phillies killer. Garrett Stubbs with an RBI bunt single that Vesia couldn't do anything about. It was a safety squeeze. Marsh would get tagged out by the end of it, but it's 4-1 Phillies. Jason Hayward would come in off Sir Anthony Dominguez, who's been really good as of late, but he gives up a homer. I mean, it is just a great piece of hitting. It's a good located pitch. It's up and in, but Hayward guys barrel to it. 7th homer of the year, 4-2. Phillies are still on top, but Castellanos, how did he get that pitch to go out of the yard? Don't ask me. Down and away, still put it into the left center seats. 6-2 Phillies. And then Cody Clemens would rip an RBI single of his own in the 7th. 7-2 Phillies. Max Muncy would drive one in himself. But by the end of it, 7-3 as Craig Kimbrell came in, locked it down against Outman. He looked filthy as Kimbrell usually does. 7-3. Phillies win. They take the series. Much needed. Huge one for the Phils. This is a great game all around. Taijuan Walker was exceptional. Alvarado letting that run was kind of, and really looking wild was kind of disappointing. But, I mean, he's coming off the injured list. It's going to happen. Dominguez, his home run he let was like, I kid you not, it was a great pitch, up and in. Hayward just got the hands in, got the barrel to it. It is a great piece of hitting. And then Soto letting that homer. So like all the good relievers, they all give up a run and a home run, Boehm comes back. He does not look good in this game. Timing was just way off. You could tell. Castellanos continuing to hit. I mean, it's unbelievable what this guy is doing right now. Where would they be without Nick Castellanos? I don't know. So, I mean, yeah. Phillies are going on the road now. We can get into that, but for the Dodgers series, just huge series win. They're getting hot. They played against a good team, and they beat them. And really, they got the Dodgers at a good time. Dodgers have been reeling as of recently, but it doesn't matter. So, they go to play the D-backs now in Arizona. It's been a house of horrors for the Phillies as of late. But, 9:40 starts the next 3 nights. Today, it's going to be a bullpen day. Strahm is getting the start, even though he did pitch on Saturday for them. Or, excuse me, on Friday for them. So, it'll be him against Tommy Henry, who looked really good against the Phillies back there in Philadelphia. That's what's going on tonight. Tomorrow it's going to be Wheeler taking the mound against Zach Davies, who's having like a much better year than most for him. He's still using that changeup. That'll be tomorrow on Tuesday. And then Wednesday you got Ranger going up against Merrill Kelly. That's going to be a really good matchup. Ranger's been hot. Merrill Kelly's been good all year. And then the fourth game it's going to be Aaron Nola up against Nelson, who is not in my book. Don't ask me. But yeah, Nola I hope he gets going in a pitcher's ballpark like that. But yeah, that'll be at 3. That's a 3:40 start time on Thursday. So we got Phillies after dark the next 3 nights. Should be exciting. This hot team that really just needs to use momentum more and more. If they go into Arizona, it's a good team. If they split in Arizona, I think we should be happy about that, especially because it's not been a place that's been nice to them in the last few years. So, honestly, a split would be just fine with me. So, that's going to do it for me here on the podcast. I know it's a quick episode today, but not a lot to talk about. I mean, there was a lot to talk about. It's just more like, it's simple. The Phillies are looking a lot better. The pitching's getting hot. Hitting still has got to step it up a little bit, but it was definitely better. So, that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys for watching. Go to the description if you want to see the main channel. I've also got a cards channel.